As you can see here, I've brought up the chart of AUD/USD. How I like to backtest is that I put two yellow horizontal lines in between January and February, so I know when to start, when to end. So like I say, just a quick few things about what I like to look at with this pair is that this pair likes to trend, but in a corrective manner. Okay, and what I mean by that is that it likes to move like this in ascending and descending fashion. Okay, so because it's January and we know this pair likes to trend like this, we might see quite a bit of evidence of this. And why do I like this? Now the reason being is because I do like to enter on break and retest. So as you guys can see, there's a level here, so we can essentially enter in on a retest here. So obviously have some set pip stop loss, 12 pips for me. And then again, as we move with the trend and break the next high, again, re-enter on the next retest around here. And of course, again, have another 12 pip stop loss there. And the best thing about this is that as we are moving with the trend, even with having two positions, every pip that is going up, then of course I'm doubling my profit, as you can see here. Let's say we're taking out at this level up here. I'll pull this up here. Our first trade would have made 7.95%, and the next trade would have made 5.27%, and of course that is with one move, and of course that is great percentage. So this is why I enjoy this pair in particular, probably one of my favorite pairs. It works really well with my strategy. So again, let's see how it performs in this month. So guys, as you can see, December 2019, we were seeing a lot of corrective movement. You can clearly see, guys, as I just mentioned, we are moving up correctively. You can see that here. Very, very evident. You can see we would break and retest here, break, retest here, break, retest here. Look at all these positions that you could have got into and scaled in as you moved up, right? And this is what this pair likes to exhibit. So anyway, let's continue and see how we start to enter into January. So, right, okay, we had a little funky move there with the line, but again, are we in January? Yes, we are. Right, so let's have a zoom in, seeing what has happened with the current price action. Yes, we're moving correctively, and now we're starting to see strong momentum down. We've broken the last low, which was here, with quite a bit of momentum. So again, waiting and seeing what's happening, because the way I would be looking to get into is up here. But again, waiting, seeing what happens. Again, I wouldn't be placing an order now at a level here. Why? Because if we have one candle that comes like this, it's most likely going to show a shift in momentum and take me out. So again, sitting on my hands, being patient, but I am seeing now momentum has shifted to the downside. Right, so we've got a small wick, a small candle, again, suggesting momentum could have died, so definitely no orders in here. Retraced. Now we've broken this low just. Formed a wick, again, showing some weakness here. Continued with that momentum. Okay, so now I'm seeing some really nice momentum down. See the next candle. Right, we've retraced. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that, guys, you can clearly see we've pushed down, pulled back up, and continued that push down. Now, again, like I just said, we like to see this movement, right? And what I'm seeing here is that, yes, not only have we broken down with momentum, I'm not seeing strong wicks here. Look, there's very little wicks to the downside. Remember, what do we know about wicks? Wicks show you possible reversal points, right? But a lack of wicks shows you a continuation. You can see, guys, here, look, lack of wicks here. Lack of wicks here, right? As you can see, as we go up, look, lack of wicks here. That's giving me confidence that we are going to continue in that trend direction, right? So again, we've started to retrace here. And again, the next candle has not shown me significant momentum back. It showed me a little retracement. So for me, I would actually have an order on at the last level, which would be right here. So it would be around this level here. My order would be on. Again, 120 pip stop loss. So 12 pip stop loss, by the way, guys, that is, it's not 120 pips. Right, there you have it. So let's see what would have happened. Right, okay, we're now in this trade. Okay, so now whatever happens, happens. We're tagged in. So let's see what happens. Again, I'm not going to get any fear. Like, look, even with this candle, guys, we've seen now we were halfway up in the stop loss. This could reverse and take me out. But again, guys, remember, stick to your plan. You enter the trade based on the evidence. So just see what happens. And there you go. Like you just saw, guys, we were in the stop loss, but now not only have we've pulled down tremendously, but we've broken the low. And now that we've broken this low, remember, guys, I use a trailing stop loss. I've been able to reduce my risk to the last high. So now this would have been reduced to around 7 pips. But again, I actually manage it 2 pips above. So this would be 9 pips. Again, my risk would be reduced to around minus 0.75% with this trade. So I'm in this trade, absolutely fantastic. Let's see what happens next. I'll be looking to scale into positions as long as I have no risk on the table. Currently, I have risk, meaning I am still have got locked in negative amount. So if trend like reverses, then I would be taken out for a loss. So I'm not looking to scale in until I've locked in some profit. So again, we've just broken this low, retrace, started to range a bit. Awesome, right, so we now have broken this low here, letting me to lock in some profits. So if I move this back, I've now locked in to the last high, it's here, right? So I've locked in 0.32%. So again, I'll be looking to scale into a position, right? Now we have broken this low with quite a nice momentum, but again, we have started to range around. So this doesn't fit my plan because we've started to see more of a range, right? So again, what essentially has happened here is that we've pushed down, we've ranged, and now broken the low. If we didn't have this range and we start to see strong momentum strong momentum down, then a little retracement up, then down, that'd be scaling in. So again, waiting to see what happens. Right, we've continued to push down. Now I want to wait and see what happens next. Right, it formed a wick. Okay, so now, again, we still got 0.32% locked in. I'll be sitting on my hands, being patient, no orders set yet, because again, we're seeing longer wicks to the downside. Right, again, we've broken, and now we've retraced and broken this low with this candle. Now, the thing is with this candle, right, I could either say to myself, okay, am I going to scale in? Right, I would like to be a little bit more aggressive. Why? Now, the reason being is because, okay, because we've broken this low here, we now have locked in about, if I pull this down, about just under 2%, let's say around 1.98% of profit locked into this trade, okay? Now, one of the things that I do like I say, we are on this strong trend, and it is January, of course. I would like to scale into a position, so I would be setting my order right around here. Now, the reason being is because, number one, yes, we are in a nice trend. Number two is that we've only had one candle retracement, and of course, we followed back down with momentum. Yes, we've broken this low and formed a small wick, but can you see, we've essentially done, if I just draw this out like this, right? We've essentially done that, right? So if I just move this here, then of course I want to scale into this position, right? Why? Because then if momentum continues down, then of course we're doubling our profit per pip. So absolutely fantastic. I will be looking to take advantage of that. So let's see what happens. Will we get tagged in? Will we not? Right, so we are just tagged in. Again, I need to change this to 12 pips. So, right, we've got 12 pips. So again, still got a risk on the table. Right, we have moved down, moved back up. Right, we had the weekend here, right, guys? So again, remember, with trades like this, I would be holding this over the weekend. With FTMO account, you can't if you've got the normal account. If you had a swing account, yes, you'd be having this over the weekend. For me, I do like to hold my trades over the weekend. So again, I'm gonna be sticking to this. I'm not gonna be saying I'm gonna exit at this point. I will have kept this over the weekend. And again, we are still in this trade, so continuing to see what happens next. Starting to range. Oh, great, we have now broken this low. So again, I get to lock in more profit. Why? Because again, we've had a low here, which is here, and we've broken it through this candle and retraced, showing me weakness. But again, what has that allowed me to do? It has allowed me to lock in more profit. So again, I want to move this sideways, and the last high was this level here. So again, I'm gonna just move that back here. So 0.62% locked in on the second trade. On the first trade that we are still in, I have locked in 3.48%. Great. Now, what am I seeing here, guys? You can see that we've started to range around and we've just broken the low and retraced, right? So for me, I'm seeing weakness. So we are more likely to shift momentum at some point. But again, it doesn't have to do that. I'm sitting on my hands, not scaling in. Why am I not scaling into any positions? Because we've just broken this low. It's unlike this position here, guys, as I showed you here, that when you have a one candle, so if we're pushing down, small retracement and pushing down, continuing that momentum, I'm happy to scale in, okay, a little bit more aggressively. However, if this, guys, it's important to know, if this was just a normal trade, I wouldn't have actually scaled in. As in, what I mean by that is if I didn't take this first position, I probably would not have taken this second position. Why? Because of that wick, and I am seeing a little bit of weakness. Because I'm in the first position, I'm happy to scale in and take that position, okay, a little bit more aggressively. Again, if this candle closed fully, and this the close was at the end and we didn't see a wick to the downside, 100% I would have entered a position here if I didn't enter that first position. But anyway, guys, this all fits my plan, so I'm in this position. So let's continue and see what happens next. Starting to range around. And great, we have broken the low with some really nice momentum. Again, range. So again, what happens now? I get to lock in more profit. So again, move this across, move this down. So the last high was this candle here. So I'm locking in 1.92 with the second trade. With the first trade, I'm locking in 4.76%. So some really nice percentage seeing here. Again, managing with the trend, which is absolutely fantastic. So again, let's see what happens. We've broken the low with nice momentum and now formed a long wick and continued with that. Right, guys, again, one great thing to see here, guys. Look what's happened here. We would have, as you can see here, yes, I did do this a little bit quick. So if I just quickly come back here, you can see, guys, now again, we've broken the low, we've broken this last low here with momentum, retraced with one candle and broken it again. And again, this is an even nicer setup than this one. So I would have been entering a position here. But again, like we saw with the next candle, wouldn't have been tagged in. So again, like we've retraced here, I would have been able to lock in more profits. So again, let's move this across here, move this down, locking in 3.98 with the second position, with the first position locking in 6.84%. Absolutely great to see. So yeah, let's continue. Again, push down with some nice momentum. Again, seeing not much wick here, so I'll be seeing how we retrace. Now again, for those of you that are wondering, saying, okay, we've seen this nice momentum down, why am I not placing an order at this level right now? The reason being is, guys, think about it. If I place an order now at, sorry, excuse me, guys, if I place an order right now at this level here, can you imagine that we would have to have a candle that pulls back that much, right? And if I'm seeing a candle that moves that much, look at the size of that candle. That's just showing me not only a possible shift in momentum, but a lot of volatility. So for me, that could easily just come up here and take me out. So again, remember, thinking also about the distance between where price is and where the order would be. So again, sitting on my hands, being patient, not setting any expectations. Right, seeing a wick. Again, waiting to see what happens. Again, we have now broken the low. Fantastic. So again, I would be, again, moving this down, locking in more profit. Same with the first trade, locking in more profit down here. And again, continuing to manage with the trend. Now, again, what would I have seen here? I'm seeing, number one, we've broken. So again, if I just quickly bar replay this, again, I would have an order set again right here at this level here. So again, I would set my order here, right now here, at this level here, 120 pip stop loss. And I'm going to show you exactly why I would have removed this after, because I just saw the next candle. So guys, you can see a locked in profit, some really nice profit, 9.4 plus 6.54. Again, we've retraced with one candle and broken it with nice momentum, letting me set my order. Now the next candle did not tag me in, okay? Now, one of the things that I would be saying with this kind of order here is that I'll be waiting for more price action. So for me personally, I would have cancelled my order at this point here. Why? Because here, if I should zoom in a bit here, guys, you can clearly see, number one, what is this candle telling me? This candle here, it's a spinning top slash doji, right? Now, despite us having this momentum down, if I would have been tagged in, I would have left the position. But because I wasn't tagged in at this level here, I would have left this. And this is showing me possible lack of momentum continuing. Why? Because look, number one, look how much it is closed relative to the last candle. It's only just broken the last candle's low, and it is showing me indecision. And again, we weren't tagged in. So for me, I want to sit on my hands, because again, we could have this kind of morning slash evening star. What is it? So essentially you have a push down, indecision, and push back up and taking me out. So again, I wouldn't be scaling in now. I would have actually removed my order at this candle here, which would have been 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So again, seeing what happens next. So again, no order now. We would have broken this where we would have set the order and showing me more wicks to the downside. So again, waiting, seeing what happens next. Right, again. So again, if I move this across, guys, you can clearly see I would have been able to lock in more profit. Why? Because we've broken this low. We've broken this low here. And we have now formed double wicks. So again, the last high was here. So I would have been pulling down my, basically pulling down my trailing stop loss to this point here. And same with, oh, can't even get to this. Same with the second position here. So locking in quite a lot of profit, 10.43 and 7.59% on this trade. So on these couple of trades, so as you can see, guys, look at this. And this is why this, not only guerrilla strategy is very good, but again, why being a trend trader is really great, because you're taking advantage of the trend. You can see how I've done that. And now, Again, one of the things I do want to mention here is you're starting to see double wicks. What do we know about double wicks? High likelihood of reversal and taking me out. So I would say we might, again, the distance between where we are now and the last point here is not that much. So we could just be taken out in the next few candles. Like you see here, probably we'll definitely be taken out. Right, so guys, as you can see, I would have been taken out probably in this candle here and this candle here. So just at 1 a.m. in the morning, out of these two positions, making me 10.43 on the first position and 7.59 on the second position. So that is absolutely fantastic. We've managed to scale in and compound our performance there. So again, I'm going to write this down and should tell you guys what was the total percentage just gained there. Right guys, so I have just noted that down, and the total profit percentage was 18.02%. Absolutely fantastic. Huge trade at the beginning of January 2020. Huge couple of trades that I'm very happy with. Now let's continue to see what happens next. And remember guys, if you took these couple of trades in the live markets, it's time for you, obviously you'll be very happy, but again, go back to neutrality and remember that, hey, what is going to happen next? Be ready for the next move. So again, I would have actually been taken out of this position. I'd have been looking to get involved in a reversal here if this closed fully, but again, I'm seeing a wick. So again, no bias on the market. I was going to be looking at some longs here, but I'm seeing a wick. So again, resetting and going back to normal. Remember guys, even after this hour being taken out of these two trades, you'd be so happy. Like I said, 18% up, great. But again, be ready. Go back to neutrality. Make sure your feelings are not overly ecstatic and happy, not overly sad, even though we definitely wouldn't be sad in this scenario. But again, be ready to take on positions that fit your plan at all times. So again, seeing a wick here, so let's see what happens. Right, broken the high, retraced. Okay, so I would have been looking to get involved on the reversal at a location here, but number one, we didn't get it because we broke this high, formed a wick, most likely to retrace. But again, the reason being is because we got a wick, we saw this reversal momentum, got a wick, and I wanted to see one more candle to show me that, hey, we've got enough of a range. So what I'm seeing here, guys, is essentially, okay, we've got this level. We're seeing that we saw this weakness down, right? We're seeing this kind of, how can I put it? If I draw it like this, seeing that weakness down, and we saw this push up. And again, we formed a long wick to the upside, right? Which is this wick here. So for me, when I'm seeing this momentum up, yes, the wick is a warning sign. So I want to see more of a range before we tap the last level, which is obviously here, and then go, right? So now, again, you can see this. My level was here, but I didn't see enough of a range. This isn't enough of a range. Maybe one more candle would have been enough for me to set the order, but we didn't get that. So for me, no orders here, nothing doing, and we've now just broken the high. So again, broken the high, most likely to retrace. So let me see what happens next. Exactly that, retrace. And guys, what I mean by a retrace candle is essentially a candle that is in the opposite color of the direction we're going. So obviously this would have been a bullish candle, green, and this would have been red. And of course, it's pulled back. So that's what we mean by retrace. And what I mean by that is that if we're breaking a high and retracing, we're not showing that momentum to the upside. So again, I'm going to sit on my hands, be patient, see what happens. And now we've just broken the low, retrace. So again, guys, what I'm seeing here is that we've broken this high, retrace, broken a low here with minimum momentum and retraced, right? So what am I anticipating? I'm anticipating more of a range. And it was clearly evident. You can see even with this price action here, we're pretty much range bound. And with this price action here, more recently, you can see the size of the candles are not big at all. And look what they're doing to the highs and lows. They're just breaking and retracing. So for me, I'm anticipating more of that range. So let's see if we get that. But again, it doesn't have to do that. Price can just shoot up, show us momentum to either side, or start to behave very correctively in one direction or the other. Or it could do a few many other things. But again, I'm anticipating more of a range. Right, seeing a little bit of momentum down, not too much. Pull up. Again, stop that. So again, broken the low, retrace, broken a high, retrace, more of a range. And guys, look what's happening. Clear range. Guys, you can clearly see that. Look at this, guys. We're sitting in this range. Clear as day, guys. And how did I know that? How was I able to predict that? Based on this price action here. Look at the weakness. We're not seeing any momentum up, not seeing any momentum down. More likely to do that, and that's exactly what is happening. So let's continue, guys. See what's going to happen next, if we're going to break out this range and how we're going to break out. Right, okay, so we're now out of this range. So you can clearly see we had this range, the top of this range, we've broken out, retraced, but then continued with this really nice candle here. So for me, I would be looking, to me, this is now, I'm starting to see now more of an established trend. You can see we're doing that. So for me, I would be looking to get involved in a retracement here. But again, let me see what would have happened here. My entry is at this level here. So for me, I would have actually had an order on, still have an order on at this point. But again, now, okay, we've broken the high and formed a wick. So again, I would have cancelled my order. So I would have had it on at this candle, taken it off on this candle because we've now broken the high. Okay, we've had the weekend here. Now you can see we're moving up in this corrective manner, and you're starting to see we're trending correctively, guys. What did I tell you, right? As earlier on, I said this price likes to move like this, and you can see that we're doing that here. But again, I'm an evidence-based, pure technical trader, so I want to see the candles that are giving me evidence, showing me a nice candle break up, and showing me that we are continuing in that trend. So like I said, the only candle here that showed me that commitment was this candle here. So again, we didn't see anything like that over here. So again, I'm not looking for positions just yet. We've just broken this high, formed a wick, and I'm not seeing that much momentum up, so seeing some weakness. Okay, now we've pushed back down, broken this low, retrace. So again, anticipating more of a range. Why am I anticipating a range, guys? We've broken the high here with not much momentum, retraced, and the last low was here, broken this low here with a wick, retrace. If we're breaking a high, showing not much momentum and retracing, and same with the low, what we're going to do? More likely to range. So again, sitting on my hands, being patient. I can anticipate that like I anticipated it here. So sitting on my hands, being patient, waiting for price, like I say, waiting for price to show more evidence of what it wants to do. It can do anything it wants. So let's see what happens next. Right, we've broken a low, retraced. So again, sitting on my hands, being patient, not looking to get involved. And remember, guys, it's also important to note, if I bring this back here, this is a little good important thing to note, guys. So you guys can clearly see we're in this range, right? We're in this range right here. And one of the things is, yes, we've broken this low retrace. Now, even if you guys would have thought with my strategy, hey, now we've broken out of this, right? Look at this candle. This is showing, it's a large candle. Yes, we've got a wick, but we're showing momentum, right? Why would I not be involved in the last position up here? Why would I not be involved in getting involved in the level here? Well, one of the things is liquidity. When you have ranges, you have liquidity stops here on the top and bottom, okay? And money managers will just come into this, take it, and shoot off, okay? So of course, there's no point getting involved in a position going short over at this level here. So for me, sitting on my hands, waiting, especially being very careful if we break and retrace, which is what happened here. You see the next kind of retrace. I'm not looking to get involved in any positions. So you're starting to range about. Again, like I said, we could easily have forecasted this based on this price action back here. So again, we are continuing with this range. So what am I seeing, guys? I'm seeing more of the range, waiting to see if we can break out this. It's a very long range. All right, okay. Now, this candle has shown me a nice shift in picture. So one of the things I've seen, guys, is that look how we've come out. But we had a high here, we had a low here, and this low was broken with this candle, formed a wick, retrace. Broken the low, formed a wick, retrace. So what I'm seeing here, yes, we've got a range, but I'm also seeing a descending here. Look at this, we can see this descending. And now we can see we've broken the high with momentum. So for me, I would actually be setting an order here, right now. Why? Because look, we're seeing that momentum. We're seeing this kind of correction down, and we're seeing the momentum up. So for me, I'll be getting involved in the retest, okay? So again, my order would be set at this level. Let's see what happens. We continued with that momentum up. Now for me, I would have taken my order off because look at where we are now, and we've got a wick. So order would have been off at this point. Order would have definitely now been off because of this large wick. So I'm going to take this out. And let's see what happens next. Okay, now we've broken the high, formed a wick, retraced. Again, broken the high, retraced. So let's see what happens next. We've got a low here. We're going to break the low. We've broken the low with a wick and retrace. So guys, again, anticipating more of a range. Why? We had a high here with a wick, retraced. And then the last low was here. We just broke it over here and retraced. So for me, more of a range sitting on my hands. You can see, again, look, even though we had a range here, I did see we started to have a correction here. We saw possible momentum up, which is why I had my order set at a level here. But again, look what happened after the momentum. If I take all of this out, Look at this candle showed me weakness. So weakness sitting on my hands being patient, and now we start to range. So again, being able to read price action is highly, highly beneficial. So let's continue. And remember guys, this is beneficial for any strategy. Like even if you have an indicator-based strategy, it's always good to learn how to read the candlesticks. Why? Because it gives you a good indication of what could happen next. And remember, candlesticks are raw price. Indicators are based on these candlesticks. So there's nothing better than reading pure candlesticks. So again, let's continue. All right, we've broken out of this high with some momentum. Have we retraced here? So high here. Yes. So again, we've actually had a high here, retraced, and then we formed a large wick, and we've broken this. So again, waiting, sitting on my hands, being patient, seeing what happens next. All right, now we've seen momentum down. Great. Okay, now we're seeing more momentum down. Fantastic. We've retraced here. So again, the last high would have been here, so I can't be looking for any orders up here because it would have been a long pullback. So again, no orders set now. Right, again, broken this. So again, broken this low with a wick, most likely to retrace. And we've retraced. Again, so I'm seeing weakness here. So again, being patient, sitting on my hands, and continuing, seeing what happens next. Right, okay. So from this price action here, we broke, like I said, broke the low, formed wicks, retraced. Then the last high was here. We broke this high, retraced. So if we're breaking a low, retracing, breaking a high, retracing, what we're going to do, guys, more likely to be range bound. And guess what? Look at what these next candles have printed. Look, you can see we've got a long wick to the downside, long wick to the upside. More evidence of a range. There's no evidence showing me want to go up or down. So I'm definitely anticipating a range now. Very probable. Broken out the range, but again, still seeing the range. Just gone up and down, not seeing any momentum either. So let's continue and see what happens next. Broken this low, broken a low here, retraced, not seeing any evidence of where we're going to go. Broken the high, retrace. Again, anticipating more of a range. Got the range. Start to see nice momentum down. Again, here's a little good lesson, guys. As you can see, we've got this momentum down, but look at the last 4 candles. Is this showing you continuing momentum? No. So even though we've got this pulse down, you have to ask yourself, look, even in this push down, these 4 candles are red, right? These 4 candles pushing down are red. Then you've got a green candle here, and then you've got red candle here. So you've got even a little retracement with this green candle here, showing you lack of momentum. But as you can see, look at these 4 candles. These 4 candles haven't broken the previous candle's low by much. Look at the low of this candle versus this candle versus this candle. They're not moving by much versus this momentum. This is clear momentum. Why? Because the low of this candle here is significantly lower than this candle, which is a lot lower than this candle, which is a lot lower than this candle. Look at the distance in between those circles I've just drawn versus the circles that I'm about to draw, which are, which are here. Look, circle, 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 circle. And these circles are the lows of the candles. We're not moving anywhere. So that is showing some momentum death. So again, but we are on a little bit of a trend. So I want to see what happens next. So again, we've broken the low, showing some momentum up. But again, sitting on my hands, being patient. Again, showing a wick here. So I'm not seeing much momentum to the upside either. Right, correction. Okay, so again, broke, high, retrace, broke, high, retrace. Now we've broken the low with momentum, formed a long wick. So again, no momentum either side. Again, look, so as you guys can see, we're not seeing much momentum. Essentially, what have I seen in this whole price action recently? Yes, we're moving down. We've got a descending, right? Now, and we're moving in this kind of, you would say, okay, kind of corrective manner, but for me, it's not in that kind of nice corrective manner. Why? Because look, you've pushed down, correction here, push down, correction up, push down, correction up, push down, correction down. So essentially what I'm seeing here in this price action and why I've not gotten involved is because push down, and then correction up, push down, correction up, and then another push down, right? This price action, as you can see, is over here, is a lot different to what I want to see, which is like this, right? Cleaner price action, which is what we saw at the very beginning, which is why we got involved in these positions here, right? So again, it's very important to identify when you're in corrective phases and when to sit on your hands. Even though we have gone down, there hasn't been any great evidence showing me that we're going to continue that momentum down. So, and on top of that, there's not been any great entry points. So for me, sitting on my hands, being patient. Nothing doing whatsoever. Right, I'm seeing a nice break of the high, but again, long wick. And then again, come back down with quite a lot of momentum. So you can see, look, I'm seeing a lot of these V shapes. Momentum up, momentum down. Seeing momentum up here, momentum back down here. Again, waiting. And what happens with this, guys, one of the things you might have noticed in my previous YouTube videos is when I see a momentum up, momentum down, we get a bit of a range and move in the direction of the second leg of this V. So as you can see, that's happened a few times. So here, got push up, push down, a little bit of a range and continued that direction, right? Exactly how I drew. So same here, pull up, push down. I'm anticipating a range and a move down, okay? So again, it doesn't have to do that, but it's more likely to do that. How do I know that? Based on what we call naked charting, basically going through a pair like this and drawing. So you guys can check out some of those videos on my YouTube channel that I've done, and I will be doing some more videos, live videos of that. But again, let's continue, see what happens. Right, we started to push down with some momentum. Again, exactly what I said. Look what happened, guys. We pulled up, pushed down, got a range, and pushed down. Exactly as I said, right? So, again, no good entry points. Why? Seeing a long wick, so let's continue to see what happens. Again, look what would have happened here. Even if you guys have thought, okay, this pair likes to trend correctively, and let's set an order at this level here, I wouldn't have set an order here. Why? Because look at the evidence, long wick. And look what happened with the next candle. Next candle would have tagged me in. Let's see what would have happened. See, look, would have reversed and probably taken you out. If I quickly just put a RR tool. Okay, not taking you out. Yeah, there, you would have been taken out, right, guys? Again, that's exactly why I didn't put an order on at that level, even though we are in this kind of trend down, because of the wick. The wick is a warning sign, and look at the aggressive retrace. So again, being patient, right? Still sitting on my hands, anticipating more of a range. Why am I anticipating a range? Because again, look, we've had a high here, broken it with wicks and retraced. So again, more of a range. Oops. There you go. Right, so let's continue. Right, we've had a really nice candle up. Again, formed a long wick. So waiting on my hands. Sitting on my hands waiting. Okay, now we've broken the high just. Showing me weakness to the upside. You can clearly see that we've just broken. This candle that was wick has just broken the high here. So now we've got a correction upwards. So I'm anticipating a move down. Doesn't have to do that, but I'm seeing the weakness to the upside with that. Again, okay, so what's happened here, guys? Very important to note, very quickly with this price action and very few candles there. We've broken this high, like I said, with a small wick, retrace, broken the low, formed double wicks, retrace. So what am I anticipating? More of a range. I've said this quite a few times in this video, so let's see what happens. It doesn't have to do that, it's just more likely to do that. But again, sitting on my hands waiting for more evidence. Right, guys. Right, okay, so we do actually have a setup here. And why do I have a setup here that fits my strategy? Is because, again, we had this range, right? Okay, and now how have we broken out of it? Quite a bit of momentum. Yes, we've had a long wick here, but again, what am I seeing? I'm seeing a little bit of a pullback here. Now, one of the things, guys, one of my strategies is a flag. So I like to see a push, an impulse down and a flag like this, okay? And where do I get in? I get involved at a location here, okay? Now, my entry point for this would have been right here. I would have been entering right, okay, so this is 10 p.m. UK time, right after spread hours. But one of the things that I've noticed, and this is part of my plan, is that I don't like aggressive pullbacks on this pair for that kind of flag. And as you can see, guys, if I draw this, you can see we pushed down and started to pull back up like this, right? So if I just move this drawing like I've drawn it here, I want to see with this pair a little bit more of a shallow flag. So something like that. That is a lot more, so this is a lot more high probability than this. Now, why is that? Well, the reason being is because from my backtesting, I know, look at the distance between the bottom of the impulse and the top of the entry versus here. The bottom of this versus the top. Look at the distance. This is a larger pullback than what I would like it to be. So if this setup was on a pair like euro dollar or euro yen, I'll be in this all day long. But because of the wick and this kind of was showing that pullback, yes, it is quite a nice flag, but again, it's pulled back quite a lot. So for me, I actually wouldn't be taking this. So again, let's see what would have happened if I would have taken this. But again, like I say, with this pair, I would not have been taking this setup. And this is why it's important to know what setups you would be taking with what pair. So let's see what would have happened. 120 pips stop loss. Here I would have entered on that market execution. Okay, so let's see what would have happened. So we're ranging around. Remember, we've got a low here to be broken. Okay, would have been taken out. Okay, so again, we would have been taken out in this location here. So this would have been a 1% loss. But again, I wouldn't have taken this, like I said, because I know that these kind of steeper flag pullbacks with Aussie dollar don't work out well. Versus if the Aussie dollar had something like that, a more shallower pullback with the flag, as you can see, this is more steeper. If it was a bit more shallower, then I would have been taking it all day long. But again, not for me. I wouldn't have taken this. Does not fit my plan. Why? Because of pair characteristics. So again, would have taken a loss there, but again, I didn't take that trade, so let's continue to see what happens. Starting to range a bit. Right, we've broken the low, formed a wick, retraced. Broken this low, formed a wick. Okay, had the weekend. So again, I'm not seeing any evidence of where we want to go. Guys, you can clearly see we've been quite range bound here. You can even argue that on this descending, we've had a liquidity hunt. We would have had all this liquidity on this downward move, and it's been taken out by the money managers with this long candle at midnight, and then we've continued the move down. So, you know, that is something to think about. Again, let's continue to see what happens. We've had the weekend break here. Again, by the way, one of the things to note for me personally, that on a Monday, like I do like to wait for a lot more price action before I get involved in any kind of trades. Why? Because Monday morning, you just tend to get a bit more range, a little bit more of a range. So for me, I don't really like to trade Monday mornings unless we have a super high probability setup, and nothing, trend continuations for me aren't high probability versus reversal. So for me, I'm not looking to get involved at any point here. Even though we are seeing this trend down, you can see that. So I'm not looking to get involved at this location. It might play out, but again, it's too early on a Monday morning, especially with a gap like this. I don't like gaps, especially if we see a gap this big. I don't like to trade, but if this gap was smaller, I would have considered it. But again, it's not in my plan. So sitting on my hands, being patient, seeing what happens next. So again, even if we would have taken a trade here on this candle at midnight, would have been in profit actually, but again, it doesn't fit my plan. So let's see what happens. Right, we are starting to trend downwards. Now for me, again, there is a possibility of entering at this level here, but I'm not going to be placing an order, because reason being is because we've got a bit of a range and the distance is a bit too much. So for me, waiting for the next candle. Okay, we've seen continuing the momentum and we've pulled down quite a bit. So definitely no order now. And now we formed a wick. Continue. This is some quite nice momentum. We're starting to see a slowdown, a retracement, and a large wick here. So again, we've got a nice little retracement, one candle retracement and push down. But look, guys, we've got quite a large wick. So I'm not looking to get involved. There's quite a big wick. So for me, I'm not looking to get involved in any position here. So sitting on my hands, being patient. More wicks to the downside. Triple wicks to the downside. So again, seeing what would have happened. Now, I actually would have looked to get involved in a position. If I go back here, I would have actually had an order placed at this location here. Now, why would I have an order placed at this location after this candle here? Now, the reason being is because, like I said before, like if I see momentum, we clearly have seen this kind of push down, one candle retracement, push down. Yes, we've got wicks. Wicks tell me that we're either going to reverse or we're going to range. Now, we're in a clear trend. You can clearly see that we're on a downtrend. So for me, with these kind of long wicks that we've seen on the downside here, I want to see a bit more of a range. And if I see that range, I'm more than happy to set an order here. And that would just tap here and continue. Now, why would I want to see a range? A range shows no shift in momentum up, okay? And guys, that's exactly what I saw here. I'm seeing wicks. So we're seeing the momentum down with wicks, but I'm seeing the range. I'm not seeing any push back up. So my order would have been on. But again, as you saw, we broke the low with this candle. So again, not entering any positions. Broke the high retrace. So again, now I'm anticipating a range. Why? Because we've broken this low, retrace, broken the high with minimum momentum and retrace. So anticipating more of that behavior. Doesn't have to do that, but that's what I'm anticipating. Right, I've broken the low, retraced. Not seeing any evidence. Can you see we're moving very correctively, really correctively here, right? Really correctively like this. So again, nothing doing here. No evidence of where we want to go. Right, okay, so one of the things I'm seeing here, guys, is that we've got a descending correction, right? And now we've started to see some exhaustion, and now we're actually starting to move up in a nice uptrend. We've broken this high here, retrace, and now we've just broken this high, and we've formed a very nice candle, guys. Like you've seen before, and like I've said, when we have a one candle retracement, you can see that this candle here was a bearish candle. It would have been a red candle, and then the next two candles are bullish. And look at this, we've broken this high really nicely with a really nice close. So for me, my order would definitely be set after this candle. So it would have been 3 o'clock in the morning. I would have set my order here. So let's see if it would have been tagged in firstly. Let me just quickly draw it. I'll just set it at this level. Would it be tagged in? Yeah, it would have been tagged in. Okay, so let me get rid of this. I would have been tagged in this level here, 120 pips. So let's see what would have happened next. Right, we would have been taken out. So I'm completely happy with that. It completely fits my plan. Why? Because look, we've broken this high with really nice momentum. You can see, like I say, I like to see corrective trending. You can clearly see that here. Look, if we push up, one candle retrace, push up with really nice momentum. There's very little wick on that candle too. So for me, more than happy to set my order. I'm more than happy to take that 1% loss. So that is a 1% loss on a trend continuation. Right, so currently as it stands, we're coming up to the end of the month. It is 2 wins, 1 loss, and uncompounded we would be up 17.02%. So again, completely happy with that. Let's continue and see what happens. So we're starting to see this push down. All right, I see we've got a retracement candle here, and we've just broken it. So I'm not looking to get involved. As you can see, guys, here, you can see, look, we've pushed down continuously. We've retraced with that candle and pushed down again with this. But again, look at the candle. Is this showing me that we want to continue down? Look how much, is this candle showing me momentum? No, we've just broken it. If I draw the low here, look, we've just broken it with a wick versus this candle, with this setup here. We broke this candle. Look how much we broke it by. We broke it with a considerable, sorry guys, got cut off there. So again, as you can see, guys, we just broken this with a small wick. Well, not even a small wick, sorry, with a wick, as you can see here. But look at this. Look at the difference, guys. Can you see the difference why I set an order in this setup versus this, right? Look at the size of, if I remove all these drawings, look at the size of this candle and the break of that low versus this candle and the break of that. You can clearly see this is nice momentum, especially these two candles being nice and bullish, okay? So for me, no order set. So let's continue and see what happens next. Right, again, we would have been taken out of that order anyway, but we pushed up, again, retraced. So for me, I'm not looking to get involved in a reversal because we've had a bit of a range here. We've broken a high and retraced. So you can see, guys, like I said, we've broken this low, formed double wicks, retraced. We had a last high here and retraced, okay? So again, anticipating more of a range. So let's get rid of these drawings. Let's see what happens. So we've got a bit of a range, broke the low. Again, broke the low, retrace. So again, moving from what I'm seeing is descending correction, ascending correction, descending, ascending, descending. More or less a range. Look at that, more or less sideways, right? So again, nothing doing for me just yet. Let's continue. Right, started to see some nice momentum down. I would be looking to get involved, but again, not entering an order because why? The distance between this candle and my entry, which would be at this level here, is quite high. If you imagine, guys, if I set an order now, the candle has to pull back up and it will tag me in all the way up here, right? And that's got to be a volatile candle and could show a shift in momentum. So let me see what happens next. Right, formed a long wick, so now sitting on my hands waiting. Now again, got a large retracement candle, so not looking to get involved. Seeing a bit more range, and now we've broken the high. Okay, so again, as in broken the high here. So we've would have been tagged in here, but again, I didn't set an order. Why? Because I've not seen enough of a range. We've pushed down, formed wick, so I want to see with a long wick like this, more of a range. We didn't get that. I'm starting to see a push up like this, and that could easily just do that and pull upwards. So for me, nothing doing. Range and broken the low. So this trade could have been in profit, but again, it doesn't fit my plan. So let's see, would have been in profit on 20. Yeah, so again, we would have actually been able to minimize our risk to around this level here. So it would have been a trade that would have worked out. But again, it doesn't fit my plan. Why? Because again, look, like I just said, we've pushed down, formed a wick and started to pull up aggressively, and price can easily just do that. So for me, not getting involved. Right, we've broken the low, formed a wick, almost at the end of the month now. formed double wicks, started to arrange, and I guess that's the end of the month. So there you have it, guys. You can see clearly, like, I think, you know, we've taken 3 trades. The end result is 17.02%, 1 loss, 2 wins. We obviously have some really nice couple of wins at the beginning. And you can clearly see, like I said at the beginning, this pair likes to trend correctively. You saw evidence of that, not only before the month that we backtested, but also look, clear evidence. We saw some of it here. We saw some of it here. We clearly saw it here. Right, but again, this wasn't a very nice way. Like I said, this was more like push down, correctiveness up, push down, correctiveness up. And again, we started to see it here, which is why we had movement down, movement up. We saw a nice evidence of like strong momentum up, which is why we got involved. Didn't want to continue, took us out, and again, continued down in that corrective manner. So you guys can clearly see that it loves to move like that. So again, I'm completely happy with that. We ended on this month 17.02%, and that is that. Now, I'm going to end the video here. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a great first month for January 2020. And if you're trading Aussie dollar with the guerrilla strategy. And one of the things is, guys, I'm sure, you know, I'm also thinking about the viewers out there that are watching this and thinking about how did I set my orders and the strategy of setting my orders. Now, that is very unique to my community. That is guerrilla trading. So if you guys want to check out that community, take a look in and click in the link in the description box below. You guys can look at that community. For me, I'm not really going to share their strategy because that's unique to them. And obviously, I'm not going to sell them out. I have a very high respect for my community. They taught me to be the trader I am today. So if you guys are really interested in those entry points and exactly how I entered, then of course check that trading community out. And I can appreciate that obviously when I'm saying breaking highs, retracing, breaking lows, retracing, it may not make too much sense to you guys, but that, again, like I say, that's part of guerrilla strategy. Now, another thing I do want to note in this video is, like I showed you guys, there was no indicators. It was reading purely price action. The key things I'm looking at are size of the candles, wicks, and how the candles are moving relative to one another. And this has kind of become subconscious to me. But again, it is high, like I say, a strategy like this and just reading pure price action is very, very useful for not only guerrilla strategy, but to me, all strategies. Why? Because even if you have an indicator-based strategy, if you're able to read just purely the candlesticks, you're able to have a good likelihood or idea of what the candlesticks could do next. You saw during this backtesting session, I said many times, hey, we're breaking highs, retracing, breaking lows, retracing, so we're more likely to be range bound. So again, reading pure price action, reading pure candlesticks can be very, very useful for any strategy out there. But again, the entry points and the trades I took in this backtesting video were purely part of guerrilla strategy, and it's the ones I would have taken, and it would have been a very nice profitable month. So there you have it, guys. That's another backtesting video. If you guys want to see more of this, or if you have any comments on this video, please feel free to write it down in the comment section down below. But again, genuinely, I hope you enjoyed this one. I showed you my thought process bar by bar, how I would have gone through this month. But there you have it. Again, a fantastic month it would have been if I were trading in January 2020, but I wasn't. I started in February 2020, but there you have it. Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic trading week ahead. Like I say, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying the content. But genuinely, have a fantastic trading week. Take care and peace.